What if I told you Social Security could face a 23% benefit cut in the coming years? Millions of Americans depend on these checks every month, but experts warn the trust fund is running low. Politicians keep pointing fingers, while the problem keeps getting worse. Is Social Security really running out of money? Who's responsible? And most importantly, what does it mean for your future benefits? Stay with me, because the facts might surprise you. Okay, there are a few things that you simply cannot honestly deny. The first is that there are problems with Social Security. The Congressional Budget Office is responsible for this. The trustees of Social Security are responsible for this. The reality is that most people are aware that Social Security's trust fund is running out. It was not given to immigrants or stolen. We'll discuss that. It's actually running out. It was planned in the early 1980s. They didn't think about the fact that a lot of the money would go to the richest Americans, those who don't pay Social Security taxes and have a net worth of more than $184,500. If that money had come to the regular people that actually worked for it and produced and made all this gross domestic product and stuff like that, if we would have actually got the money rather than having our wages flat for the last few decades, then Social Security would be good. But basically all that money has gone to the top, and if you make more than $184,500, you no longer contribute to Social Security. And that is the problem. That is unquestionable. So, Social Security is in trouble. The fact that Trump is doing nothing to fix it is the second thing you can't deny. In fact, he is acting in the exact opposite manner. Additionally, it appears that someone has already entered the room before everyone else. This is also a live Q&A. So, if you've got any questions, comments, you want to rebut my thing, please I'll pop up your question on the screen, whatever it is, as long as it's nice language. I don't like those four-letter words because I'm an old Marine Corps sergeant. However, I am more than happy to include whatever. Additionally, you can actually record a video. I'll show you how to record a video. Here, I'm going to play some videos. So, if you did disagree with anything I say, please record a video, put it up there. However, none of these individuals has done anything in the past 40 years. People ask, what about this person, as a result? This is, the whataboutism argument. They ask, whataboutism, rather than addressing the current president. What about this other person? If you're new to my channel, you should know that what we do here is to assist individuals in navigating the Social Security Administration and ensuring that they receive all of their entitlements to retirement, disability, survivor, spouse, Medicare, and Medicaid. I've been doing this for a few decades. I've helped millions of people with all that, and that's what we do here. However, it would be remiss of me to assist individuals in obtaining those benefits only to see them reduced by 23% within a few years, which is exactly what will occur. Everyone will see a 23% reduction within a few years. And why? Because these guys haven't done anything. So, let's put this partisan BS to the side, and I'm going to tell you, the person right there that the most recently did probably the worst for Social Security, Biden. The facts are the facts. The Social Security Fairness Act, which he signed into law, increased the replacement rate for 3% of former state, county, and federal employees. They get a higher percentage than anybody else in the terms of the replacement rate. That was a law that was passed during the Biden administration, and they have been attempting to pass that for a long time, but President Trump supported it as well, and he is the one who is currently paying out those benefits. People just don't understand what it was, but anyway, in the most recent political history, that is the one that is probably going to hurt Social Security more once, because all of those billions of dollars have been paid out by President Trump, and then once the new Social Security Trustees report comes out here, probably next month or so, I think this is going to get a lot worse. Additionally, given that someone mentioned that Democrats stole millions from our Social Security and distributed them to illegal immigrants, things are only going to get worse this year and next. That, not some false accusation of President Trump, concerns me. Okay, who exactly is this very slow life? 100% incorrect. Again, I know this because I worked as a Social Security claim adjudicator for decades. Social Security is not available to you if you are not legally in this country. You cannot get Social Security retirement benefits, disability benefits, survivor benefits, SSI, Medicare. That is true. That is 100% a fact. You have to prove you're a U.S. citizen or that you're in this country legally. You are legally present in this country thanks to some official status known as a green card. That is true. So, that is one of the many, many myths. We can't solve anything if we come up with all these myths and say, well, what about this person? So, we're going to talk about this person and forget about the reality going on right now, and therefore we're not going to solve the issue, and, or we're going to talk about some type of falsehood about, hey, this, the undocumented immigrants are receiving these benefits, and so once we stop that. No, actually, it's the opposite. Undocumented immigrants, they work under fake Social Security numbers, or they work under temporary IRS numbers that the IRS gives them. The IRS doesn't care about whether they're in this country legally. They just want taxes. They want people to pay taxes. As a result, they provide temporary tax ID numbers to some illegal immigrants. And those people go out there and work, and they pay into Social Security, and they pay taxes, they pay real estate tax, they do all the stuff through rent or whatever. In terms of Social Security, 10, 20, 30 years later they come into Social Security and they said, hey, I paid into Social Security for 20 or 30 years. I want to proceed with receiving benefits for retirement, disability, spouse, or any other situation. No, sorry. Yes, I appreciate your donation. Billions of dollars every year goes into the coffers, goes into the trust fund from people that are working in this country illegally. Additionally, Social Security will be placed in yet another hurt locker as a result of Trump's removal of a number of those individuals. Additionally, President Trump, Marco, or Ted Cruz, is the Treasury Secretary. Both acknowledged that the so-called Trump accounts essentially function as a backdoor for privatization. As a result, there is a conscious effort to privatize Social Security and give it to their Wall Street friends. That, if you believe in privatization, giving your Social Security money over to Wall Street, I guess you're good with that, but a lot of us, it's one of those heads you win, tails I lose type situation with Wall Street. They bet the farm that if they do something crazy and lose, the government will come in and bail them out because they are too big to fail, but the ordinary people are obviously not too big to fail. We are just covered in the metaphorical feces. So that seems to be happening with, I think it's going to happen with AI and all the rest of it. So, yeah, every time something like that happens, invariably we get covered in it. So if you've got any other questions and any other arguments on there, I'm going to go ahead in the description. I'm going to put a checklist. So if you're debating your friends about Social Security, the future of Social Security, you really need to get off the table all of the myths. So in the description on Facebook and YouTube, I'll put a list, a little cheat sheet,